Today, family, Sam Pham defense part number 3. Now, in the earlier parts 1 and 2, I show you how you can keep your defense unbreakable and stop ball penetration. But today, I'm going to teach you how you can stop pick and roll offense while having your backside rotate as tightly and as consistently as possible. So this works as well online and offline, and as always, make sure you set your defensive focus and aggression to neutral and neutral for both. Now, it's really important that before you start watching this one, make sure you click the link above if you haven't seen parts 1 and 2. Because a lot of those concepts I'm not going to repeat in here, so make sure you get those down first before studying this. But if you have seen those, so let's get to it with today's pick and roll defense. The footage is on Hall of Fame Sim, and it is being demonstrated by my GM Denver Nuggets. So we'll start off talking about using the settings of going over and soft hedge as your pick and roll defensive scheme. Now, the issue with going over and soft is that you can give up a lot of rolls because during the pick and roll defense, there's a pocket. You see how Kobe and Brandon Bass had a pick and roll pocket there? I was not able to shut it down, so they got an easy roll. Here you can see it one more time between D'Angelo Russell and Sacre. There's that pocket again for the pass. Help defense came, but it's too late, so it led to easy free throws. And watch it here one last time of the weakness of going over and soft. You can see it here again, is between Russell and Terry Black, and there's that pocket again for the easy pass, which led to the roll. Now, those are the flaws of obviously going over and soft, but they do have a purpose in your defensive scheme because you can play it right. It's just it's risky, but let me show you some clips of how going over and soft would work out. Now, to make it work, you need to have really good weak side rotation to snuff out the pocket. You see here, the over and soft happens, and Nick Young had a clear roll, but my center, Jeff, he slid over and he blocked out the paint, so Nick Young couldn't roll, and he took a bad jump shot instead. Another way to take advantage of the over as soft is to go over sag. What you're going to do is, you're going to use the ball handler to go over the screen, but you're going to switch to the hedge defender and just sag down, stops the roll, stops the ball penetration. D'Angelo Russell makes a crazy pass here, but that's not the point. The point is the pick and roll was effectively stumped out. So over and sag down is not necessarily a bad idea. You just need to understand, if you're playing against a strong roller and a smart passer, I wouldn't suggest go over and soft hedge because of the pocket possibly being able to be formed, but it does have its place in your defensive scheme. Just make sure you are able to carry out the over properly. You can see in this next clip, I did the over manually myself to go over the screen, and I did it clean. So there was no pocket, and I took away the passing lane. So this is perfect over defense. Watch Fournier, I take it away, rotate, and that's it, I shut it down. So to play the over defense nicely, the key is that you gotta go over manually yourself and shut down any type of ball penetration and deny the pass to that pocket where the roll man can possibly get. Alright, now but let us move on to a better version of pick and roll defense, I think. The best pick and roll defense strategy in 2K16, and that is going under and using soft hedge. You can see from the next clip that this under soft hedge pick and roll defense is pretty nice. We got Russell here running a pick and roll. I go on ball, under with Fournier. My computer big man comes, the help defense comes, everything's shut down. They try to run another pick and roll. This time I switch to the hedger, this soft hedge. Fournier goes under on his own and recover, and we steal the ball. So that's pretty nice defense. And here you can see, while you're going under and soft, you can actually play really aggressive on-ball defense like I do here with Roten, just to push Clarkson away from the paint. So that also works great. We completely snuff out the pick and roll, and the soft hedge was also there. Here you can see me going under and soft again, and I actually messed it up, but the weak side defense I show you in the first 2 videos work out. You see Sacre here completely kill off Moutier with that pick. But because of the settings I showed you earlier in parts 1 and 2, Wilson Chandler rotates cleanly, shuts down the roll, Nurkic recovers, Chandler goes back, and we play one-on-one defense. Moutier is much better than Huteres, and we shut down the possession. So that's great weak side save defense. So for now, I have showed you two things. You can either go over and soft, or you can go under and soft. All right. Now, those are just conceptual things. And the Lakers was a weak team because I just wanted to demonstrate the offense to you guys. For the next segment of the episode here, I'm going to use these defensive schemes against the Jazz, who have much more skilled pick and roll ball handlers and a much more solid offense. In the next episode coming maybe in a day or two, I'll be using these against the Golden State Warriors, so you can see it against top tier teams. But for now, let's move on to the Jazz and see how everything we just talked about work out in game. Now, once again, I cannot stress this enough. Make sure it's neutral defensive focus with neutral defensive aggression, and please watch part 1 and 2 if you haven't. Now, I also have the settings here. I'm fast forwarding it here, but I'll show it at the end of the video in regular speed. So for those of you who want to see the settings, you can check it out there. Now we'll begin by studying going way under on poor shooters. So Alec Burks is not a very good pull-up shooter off the dribble. So you can see me here with Avery Bradley. The pick is about to come and I'm going to go way under. Look, watch this. This is actually a sustainable strategy against someone like Burks, who was not too aggressive on the pull-up in 2K for some reason. So that's one way of doing it. And you can see me here going way under again. On-ball defender. As the on-ball defender on Ixom. Because Ixom is also not a very good shooter. So the good swing motion offense by the Jazz, they work it back to Ixom. I'm going to go way under with Moutier. I'm just going to let him shoot the free. Bad shooter, they don't go in. So way under is always an option. Now here you can see me doing the manual over defense incorrectly. I'm doing it wrong. It's Ixom. I should have went under, but I wanted to switch up the defense by testing, by going over a bit. I allowed middle, basketball depth. So make sure if it's a bad shooter, just stick with going under. Don't get too fancy. I was getting too fancy here. Same thing, Trey Burke, bad shooter. I went over again, which gives up the pocket pass right there to the roller. Also bad. So bad shooter, go under, family. But here is over pick and roll defense on ball done correctly. The Jazz work the ball to the side here, and on the side I like to go over because it's tight space. Here I shut it down, and Avery Bradley goes over again on an Ixom. I know I said go under, but that was a high-speed pick and roll. So if it's a high-speed pick and roll, make sure you go over if you can. We gave up the basket, but the defense was nice. Here it is again. This time we're also going to go over because it's Gordon Hayward, who is a good shooter. And you gotta fight as the on-ball defender because sometimes you get these calls in the pick and roll. If you fight hard enough, they try to screen you that you might get this foul. Now, I want all of you to understand, I am teaching you great defense here in this series, but a lot of the time, great defense can lead to absolutely no reward. You see me here playing really, really solid defense for like 24 seconds. I was able to force an isolation, post up. I did it well, but there was an interior foul. Now, is that bad? Yes, but that's just the way defense is. Here, you can see it one more time. Once again, I played great defense with no reward. I guarded the off-ball screen nicely with Covington. This pick and roll, so I go under. We recover. Everything is shut down. This is beautiful defense. We go back to the isolation one-on-one. We give up the rebound. Alright, here's another clip where, once again, great defense, no reward. The Jazz is running a very nice horns action here. I went under the screen, shut down the first pick and roll with Ixom. Now, Covington overhelps on penetration here. I recognize that, so I'm just going to book it to the corner with rotate myself. Shut that down. They rotate the ball back out. Hood comes out. Great individual defense by Tony. So this is pretty much shut down. I shut down 2 pick and rolls in 1 possession. Force him into a bad shot, but it goes in. That's okay, we move on. It's about playing great defense. Always play hard on D, and throughout the course of a game, especially if it's like a 48-minute game, you will be rewarded. Here, I'm carrying out the same schemes, going under on the pick and roll with soft hedge, using the on-ball defender myself, recover again. Help side comes, because of the help side settings I talked about in part 1 and 2. Shut down. Here is another play where great defense does pay off over time. Remember, the key here, it pays off over time. So don't get stuck on 1 possession or anything like that. Play your defensive game. We go under here with Avery Bradley, recovers on Hayward nicely. Great help defense by Nurkic, forces a bad shot. Grab the rebound. Beautiful. Now, this is probably the best pick and roll defense possession of the game here. So I really like this because of the beautiful help side. Hayward runs a pick and roll here. We go under with Batum. Jeff steps up to shut down the row. Wilson Chandler slides down. Everybody goes over to the corner to cover Hood. The only shot we gave up open is for Trey Burke, who can't really shoot. So that was good rotation, and we were still able to close up with Moutier. That was great, great defense. So that's it, family. That was the last clip of the day. And like at the end of the video, I will leave the defensive settings I use for the Jazz, so you can study that in detail. I'll leave the long version. So for those of you who have seen this, feel free to discuss in the comment section. I do believe the best way to guard pick and roll in 2K16 is going under and soft hedge. Now some of you will be like, oh, then how do I go over? Do I have to go to the settings and switch? No, you don't need to do that. Just set the settings to go under, and then when you want to go over, manually switch to the on-ball defender and go over yourself, right? Problem solved. Remember, the under setting only applies to the AI on-ball defender. So if you switch to the on-ball defender yourself, you can go over whenever the heck you want. That way, you can stay versatile, and you can play good, solid defense. Remember, most of the time, you won't get rewarded. Don't get frustrated. Play hard defense for 48 minutes. I haven't lost in Hall of Fame Sim using the Nuggets against the AI yet, because of that. I play hard defense for 48 minutes straight. I don't care if it goes in. I don't care if it doesn't go in. I'm going to play my defense as hard as I can, and this is how you win games on 2K. You can have the greatest offense in the world. It doesn't matter. People lose games because of defensive possessions mishaps. That's what this series is for. So make sure you check out parts 1 and 2 if you haven't. Even if you have, go back, review, and then watch this one. Combine everything together. I guarantee you will find more success in your 2K16 gameplay. Alright, so that's it for me. Yeah, it's really late again. So weekend is bathrobe, okay? We just have to accept that as a group. Alright, I'll see all of you next time.